Hey guys, it's Laura from Lightning Cosplay. As you may have noticed in my last video, at the moment I'm working on my Iris von Everec cosplay. And because Halloween is coming soon, I not only want to show you the beautiful Iris, I also want to cosplay the undead version. And for that I'm making a prosthetic for my face. So in this video I will show you how I sculpted her face and how to make a basket mold like this one with UltraCal 30. Look at this beauty! It's the same technique I used to make the mold for my Khajiit nose prosthetic thing. So yeah, let's go!
We made an alternate face casting. This is pretty easy and there are a lot of cool tutorials how to do this all over the internet. When you're making a basket mold, you need a handle on the back of your face. For sculpting I use oil-based clay. I prefer to use the Chevant NSP medium clay, which you can heat up in the oven so it gets super soft. The great thing about oil-based clays is that they never dry out, so you can reuse them for your next projects. There's not that much to say about the sculpting process. It's just learning by doing. First, I focused on building up the brow area and the cheekbones. I like to use different tools like the loop tool and rubber tool to work on the wrinkles. To smooth out the surface, I used a brush with a little bit of turpentine. The most complicated area was the eye, which had to look as realistic as possible. After a while I figured out that Iris don't have any skin left on her chin. It kinda looks like the skin is ripped off. More wrinkles on the eye. She is a super old undead lady, so she has a lot of wrinkles. It is very important that you have very thin edges to make sure that the prosthetic nicely blends into your skin later. The teeth will be added later. Teeth made out of foam latex would not look so good. This technique is great to get a little bit more texture. Iris is undead, so she don't have a pretty and clean skin anymore. The whole sculpting process took me about 7 hours. And I'm very happy how it turned out. Here I'm drilling holes for the keys, which I could have done before I started sculpting, but I forgot it. Now it is time for the fleshing walls. For that I'm using a soft oil-based clay and used a pasta maker to get thin stripes. Then I applied the stripes all around the edge. The reason why you have to do this is that your prosthetic will get a very thin edge. Adding Vaseline to the exposed parts of the face cast to make sure that the mold will not stick to the face. Now let's go on with the UltraCal. I mixed it up in a bucket. Just mix it with water until it gets a nice and smooth consistency. I recommend to mix it up with your hands to make sure that it is evenly mixed and you don't have any clumps. The first coat is the most important one, because it's the beauty coat. Take your time and brush it on slightly to get all the details of your sculpture. Then go on with more layers, but be careful not to destroy the beauty coat. Then let it set for a while and wait until the UltraCal gets thicker. To get a strong mold you also need to add burlap, because when you bake your mold in the oven it can crack. I added about 3 layers of the burlap UltraCal mixture. Then add another layer of UltraCal to get a nice and smooth surface. The mold now only needs some feet to make sure that it stays in place when you're running your foam latex, silicone or gelatin. The feet are also made out of burlap and UltraCal. Let the mold dry overnight and then flip it over. smooth out the sharp edges with a rasp. This is the best way to open your mold, and as you can see, Ralph is doing this for me. Remove the face and there we have it, the finished mold. Now remove all the clay. The only thing that did not work out were the keys. Actually, they are not necessary, but I always like to make keys for my molds. But yeah, it will also work without them. Also remove the clay from the face. You can easily clean the whole thing with turpentine. The flashing edges in the mold are super sharp, so you can sand them down just a little bit to make sure that the edge will not directly rip off when you remove your final prosthetic from the mold.
Wasn't that complicated, right? You can now use the mold for foam latex, for silicone or for gelatin. But don't use silicone after you've used latex in this mold, but more about this in my next video. Making prosthetics is a lot of fun and I definitely want to use these techniques more often. I also think cosplayers should more often, do prosthetics for their cosplays. What do you think? So, should I make more tutorials on that? Just let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to check out our super nice and helpful tutorial books. I will put the link down in the video description. The next video is coming very soon. There I will show you how to make a foam latex prosthetic. So if you don't want to miss it, subscribe to our channel. And if you want, you can also support us on Patreon. So then see you next time. Bye bye!